Chapter 4. My second trip to visit Mother. The need for answers to my burning questions was so potent that I made a second trip to visit my mother. This time I planned to take my daughter, Erica, with me. I needed a travel partner, and I thought this would be a great opportunity for her to meet her grandmother. Erica is a licensed social worker, and so her expertise came in handy during our trip in a way I never expected. Leading up to my second trip, Mother acted very excited about our coming. Whenever I would call her, she would ask, "Are you and Erica still coming? June 7th, right?" Every time one of my brothers called her, she would ask them, "Are Grace and Erica still coming on June 7th?" I felt happy about her being excited to see us and could not wait for her to meet Erica. There were several things I wanted to do together during our trip, and I discussed my expectations with my mother over the phone. I asked her, "Would you allow me to take you out to dinner during our visit?" She said, "Yeah, that would be okay. Also, I would like to show you some information about a couple of assisted living facilities that I have in mind for you. I understand you may never decide to move, but I just wanted to give you something tangible to think about." She said, "Yeah, that would be okay too." I could not bottle up my final expectation any longer. I told her that when we are in person during our visit, that I wanted her to tell me why she left. I felt my breath catch in my throat, and the moment her voice affirmed that it would be okay, I felt overwhelmed. She agreed to all of my requests, so I felt increasingly excited about our visit and could not wait. Even though I knew she probably would not agree to move, I was extremely hopeful. I was even prepared to bring her back in the car with us if she agreed to it. Admittedly, my hopes were up way too high, but that did not stop me from remaining highly optimistic. I really wanted my mother to live closer to us. I often imagined how great it would be for her to be in Kansas City, to meet all of her grandchildren, and for all of us to throw a big dinner just to celebrate her. Although I really wanted to bring my mother back to be closer to us, I knew I could not do it by myself. I needed my brother's support that they so amply provided. When Erica and I were making our plans, my brother, Terrence, pitched in some cash to help us pay for the trip. Our hope was that I would use the trip to convince our mother to move to Kansas City. We really wanted her near us, to make her happy by providing for all of the things she needed and wanted. Our biggest hope was to be able to give her the life we felt she deserved. Therefore, this trip would not be just for fun and enjoyment. We were on a true mission. As Erica and I continued to prepare for the trip, we decided we would drive a rental car. It would be a 17-hour drive, but we estimated that it would take us at least a day to get there, with all the stops for food and rest. We agreed on a hotel that was only a 10-minute drive from the boarding home where my mother lived. The hotel we chose provided free continental breakfast, so that would save us some time and money. While packing, I started thinking about our prior visit when we reunited with Mother. I remembered the great effect that the family photos I had taken with me had on her ability to recall memories of her life before leaving us so many years earlier. I remembered the sincere interest she had shown in the photos and how much she had enjoyed them. During our reunion visit, I noted that the more she looked at the pictures, the more it began to click for her that we were her children. The more she realized we were her children, the more she opened up and eventually accepted us. To say that the pictures were a powerful tool would be an understatement. However, during our initial reunion visit, I had run out of pictures to show her, and I wished I had brought more. For this second trip Erica and I were preparing for, I sorted through my many albums, pulled out as many photos as I thought she would appreciate, and packed them up. I even took a little album full of pictures of herself and her adopted family that our cousin had given me to show her. Our cousin believed that those pictures would help jog her memory. I was thrilled to be able to take so many because I knew she didn't have any. With all the moving around and her health being such as it is, she had lost every tangible memory of her family. Initially, we had planned to leave on the morning of Thursday, June 8th. However, the rental car company informed us that we could pick the car up after 5 o'clock the evening before without any additional fee. That opportunity moved things forward, and we decided to take advantage of it and get on the road that very evening. My brother, Jerome, was concerned because he didn't like the idea of our having to drive through the night on unfamiliar roads. He urged us to leave early the next morning so that our travel would be mostly daytime hours. Even though I understood his concern, the thought of getting on the road as soon as possible appealed to me. I felt like the sooner we were on our way, the sooner we would reach our destination. Erica and I discussed it, and she was all for getting a head start. We packed our suitcases and plenty of healthy snacks, picked up our rental car, and drove straight to the highway. One of the most remarkable things about our 24-hour road trip was that my oldest brother, Jerome, contacted us every so often to make sure we were safe. He encouraged us not to sleep in the car at rest stops, but to book a hotel instead. As the main driver, I was perfectly capable of functioning with only a few hours of sleep, so checking into a hotel seemed excessive to me. In the end, Erica and I decided to chance it and sleep in the car in well-lit large convenience store parking lots whenever we stopped to get gas. Each time after we would wake up, I bought a cup of coffee to help me keep awake until the next time we would stop. Even though we did not do as my brother suggested, his phone calls and texts were very welcomed. I felt like he really cared about us, and that alone was the only sense of security I needed. During the trip, Erica and I talked, laughed, and listened to music. I was happy because that was a chance to bond with my daughter, a special opportunity to spend time together. My most memorable experience during our drive there was enjoying the variety of healthy snacks that Erica prepared. She had brought along several soft, perfectly ripe avocados and a loaf of fresh bread. On one of our stops along the way, she peeled and removed the seeds from 3 or 4 of the avocados, put the edible portion in a clear glass bowl, and mashed it with a fork. She added salt and pepper and stirred to her desired consistency, then took a slice of bread in one hand and a fork in the other. My daughter dipped the fork into the bowl, which sat on her lap atop of the blanket and pillow that was keeping her warm and comfortable throughout the drive. When she had just the right portion of the avocado mixture on the fork, she spread it onto the slice of bread. I watched intensely as she completed the task. As I stared, she stretched her arm towards me with the prepared avocado snack sitting on her hand. "This one is for you," she said. I felt honored and joyful to receive it. My daughter's avocado bread had always been one of my favorite finger foods. Then she made one for herself. As I was biting into the delicious snack that my daughter had so carefully prepared, I thought about how grateful I felt that finding my mother had resulted in my sharing this special moment together with my daughter. Several times we stopped for gas, food, and to get some rest. We enjoyed our journey, taking our time and not being in a rush. We were careful to stay within the speed limit throughout the entire trip, until finally reaching our destination. I did most of the driving, but as we got closer, Erica took the wheel and drove us the final way. After we got off the highway in my mother's city, traffic was very congested. I felt relieved to finally arrive, but I felt nervous in the high-volume traffic. The people who were driving on the road around us seemed unconcerned about other drivers or common safety rules. Whenever we had the right of way, the other drivers did not yield to allow us to have it. Driving in that city was clearly different from Kansas City. In the end, we just allowed everyone to pass us by because it would earn us nothing but a headache, not to mention that it would sour our anticipation and good mood. It had been 24 hours since we had started our trip, and now we were weaving our rental car through the somewhat familiar roads leading to our hotel. I felt relieved as we entered the parking lot, walked into the hotel, and strolled over to the front desk to check in. This meant we were that much closer to finally spending time with my mother.
If you enjoyed this story, please like this video and subscribe to our channel.